You know, when we think about innovation in schools, we usually picture the classroom. But what about all the paperwork that runs things behind the scenes? Today, we're going to look at a really huge shift in Indonesia's education system, how they moved from mountains of paper report cards to a sleek digital platform called Rapor SD. I mean, just think back to report card season. For pretty much everyone involved, teachers, parents, even students, it was just a storm of stress, wasn't it? Piles of paper, endless calculations by hand, and that long, anxious wait for the results. The whole system was just bogged down by its own weight. And for teachers, it was a massive administrative burden. I mean, imagine staying late night after night, manually calculating grades for every single student in every single subject, and wrestling with form after form. Every hour spent on that paperwork was an hour not spent on planning lessons or actually helping students. Plus, one tiny slip of the pen could cause errors, delays, and a whole lot of frustration for everybody. So, how did Indonesia fix this? Well, in this explainer, we're going to walk through this whole digital transformation. We'll start with the problem and the solution, Rapor SD. Then we'll check out the new tools it gives teachers, see how it empowers students with their own data, and then zoom out to see how it connects every single school into one national system, basically shaping the future of grading.
All right, let's dive into Section 1 and really dig into the problem they were up against.
The thing is, the old system wasn't just slow and inefficient, it was a black box. To really improve education on a national level, Indonesia needed a way to bring some clarity and accuracy to how they measured student progress. It was time to ditch the paper maze for a clear digital path. And that brings us right to Section 2, the solution. Say hello to Rapor SD, an application built specifically to digitize this entire process. And here it is. Now, what's really important here is that this isn't just some third-party app. This is an official platform, straight from the Directorate of Elementary Schools. And that's a big deal, because it means it was designed from the ground up to work with existing school data and create a single, unified standard for reporting across the whole country. And the system's official mission statement really says it all. The whole point is to use this digital transformation to manage student learning effectively, efficiently, and accountably. That makes it crystal clear. This project was never just about saving a few trees. It's about building a much more reliable and transparent foundation for education itself. So what does this new system actually look like in the real world? In Section 3, let's see how it feels for the people right in the middle of it all, the educators. Okay, so for a school administrator, Rapor is basically their new central command center. They're the ones who set up the system, manage all the accounts for teachers and students, and make sure all the data for the entire school is flowing where it needs to go. And here's a peek at what that command center looks like. The admin dashboard gives them this complete bird's-eye view of the school. They can see who's logged in, check student data, look at class schedules, everything. It's basically mission control for the whole reporting process. But for the classroom teacher, this is the real game changer. The number one benefit is time. The whole system is designed to just slash those administrative hours and get the focus back where it belongs, on the students, not on the paperwork. Check this out. It's a perfect example. A teacher starts by setting up their learning goals for the semester. Then, instead of typing in every single grade one by one, they can just import everything with a single click from an Excel file. I mean, that feature alone saves hours of tedious work. And once those grades are in, the system really gets to work. It does something called data transformation, which is just a fancy way of saying it takes all those raw scores and turns them into something way more powerful, clear, visual insights that a teacher can actually use. And this is the result. You get these amazing dashboards that visualize how the class is doing. A teacher can see at a glance how their students are progressing on things like creativity or critical thinking. All of a sudden, grading isn't just a chore anymore. It's a seriously powerful tool for understanding their classroom.
Okay, so we've seen the benefits for teachers and admins, but what about the students themselves? Let's jump into Section 4 and look at this from their point of view.
This is where it gets really cool, because it's all about empowering the students. By giving them their own login, the system puts them in the driver's seat. They can check their own grades anytime, track their progress over the semester, and even download and print their own report cards. This gives them a real sense of ownership over their own learning. So we've seen how this helps one student, one teacher, one school.
But the real power of Rapor SD is how it connects everyone, painting this massive data-driven picture of the entire education system.
It all starts at the local level. The system runs on a school's internal network, a LAN. Now, in simple terms, this just means that everyone, from the front office to the classroom, is connected to the same central hub. It guarantees they're all working with the same live, up-to-the-minute data. No more outdated spreadsheets. But how does one school's data connect to the rest of the country? Well, the answer is a system called Dapodik. Just think of it as Indonesia's central brain for education data. It's the national hub that pulls in key information from every single registered school.
And here's how that national data flow works. So grades get entered into eRapor in a classroom. The school system then syncs that data up to the national Dapodik database. Now imagine this happening at schools all across the country. You end up with this massive real-time data set. For the first time, policymakers can see national trends, spot regions that need more support, and make truly data-driven decisions to improve education for everybody.
Okay, let's bring it all home. When you get right down to it, why does a digital report card system actually matter so much?
In the end, this is about so much more than just a piece of software. It's a fundamental shift. It's about freeing up teachers to actually teach, not just do paperwork. It's about empowering students by giving them ownership of their academic data. And on the biggest scale, it's about building an entire education system that's more transparent, more accountable, and just plain smarter.
This leap from paper to platform is a huge step forward for Indonesia, and it leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. When something as simple as a report card becomes an intelligent, data-rich tool, what's the next frontier? What's the next big innovation waiting to happen in the classroom of the future?